So whatever happened to the 3rd gen iPod that I promised a video about? Well, we're going to do a very quick one because unfortunately trying to make a video about this is going to be a bit hard because I keep redoing it over and over and I just kind of want to get to the point already. So this is my 3rd gen and I got it from Noah, who should need no introduction at this point. And pretty much what happened was it needed a new battery and I wanted to flash mod it. Well, I tried to do both and both kind of failed spectacularly. Well, the flash mod part actually went over well. Everything else did not. So, take this off. And the first thing that happened was this little ribbon cable tried to break. And I had to solder it back on. It took a little bit of work, but as you can see, it looks pretty fine. Nothing too problematic with that. Then we had to use the red adapter in here, and it wasn't working very well, so I ended up swapping it for the known good stuff out of my 4th gen iPod, and it all worked pretty well. But while I was troubleshooting the red adapter, I didn't check the alignment of the hold switch because it's actually on the logic board, unlike the 4th gen and up. And if you don't check the alignment between that and the switch on here, you're going to break that switch off, and that's exactly what happened. And fortunately, I was able to source a replacement switch and solder it on quite badly, but yeah, it went on there pretty well, all things considered. And I got it from my iPod Photo, which I noticed when I had the back cover off that it used the same type of switch even though it was on a separate board with the Photo. So, got all that in here. Then I went to replace the battery, because as we can see, if I pull this forward just a little bit, we have a replacement battery in there. And that went over well until the battery started acting up. And it turns out the 3rd gen just doesn't like third-party batteries for some reason. Because I've tried multiple ones, and they all just seem to be not all that great. Because, as we can see here, I can turn this on by flicking the hold switch. It's already dead, even though I put a full charge on this last night and haven't touched it since then. What can you do? Go ahead and lock that back up. The battery seems to drain really fast, and the battery gauge is really inaccurate. I do not know why. It's really annoying when you're trying to actually use this as a real iPod instead of just having it around as a showpiece, but, you know, what can you do? But yeah, pretty much everything went wrong. Besides the thing that, you know, the least intensive thing I had to do to this iPod. And I don't even have FireWire to show for it, because when you flash mod one of these, you lose FireWire capability for syncing, so you have to do it all via USB. And if the battery doesn't last, then you're kind of up the creek without a paddle, because you have to hope the battery is going to last long enough to do the sync, because it can't charge over USB. So, this thing has been just a nightmare and a half. And I think I'm going to go back to a more reliable music player. The tried but true. I'm just kidding. I'm going to use my 5th gen, which is, you know, this guy right here. So there is a valuable lesson to be learned right there. I didn't break it, as you can see, but you should probably put tape over the switch when you're working on the iPod, because if you don't, it likes to dance over to the middle or all the way over, and then you're going to have a problem when you try to put this thing back on. So we're going to just make sure it is all the way over to the left. Now we get that pop. And there we go. Works perfectly fine.